of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11.
Day one.
Good morning, everyone. This is not Matinee on Air, nor is it the morning. This is the Todd Allbaugh Show. We have a little less than a minute until we kick off this Friday's show.
We are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great...
Sam Davison put pie in me.
Yes.
Live from the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our outstanding producer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It is 6 past the hour of 12 noon on this TGIF edition. Thank goodness it's Friday, March 14th, 2025. It is a great day, and I mean a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to have you along here at the world headquarters in downtown Madison, along with Zommers. Wow. Aaron, this is the kind of day where you want to put it in a bottle and just relive it over and over.
I think Todd likes warm weather.
Well, it's not because it's not like super hot. It's just refreshingly,
Yes.
It's the right temperature. I had to get downtown early this morning. I had a little meeting, and then the meeting got canceled, but it was fine because I was up and going, and I went down to our friends at Bradbury and had a little coffee and crepe. And then I got into the office. I got a lot accomplished this morning. I was out walking down. Oh, by the way, I was Pat Kreitlow, who was in town for the Up North News. And it was a great event on Wednesday for the big forum for the Supreme Court race. And then he sends us that internal message saying, oh, yeah, I forgot all of my banners over at the Overture Center. Well, could you go get them? I said, sure, no problem. So I went over there this morning. What he didn't tell me is that there were bags of poles as well. So it was, I was like a pack mule for Kreitlow this morning. But it was, I got my workout in. I got him over here. It's beautiful out right now.
Rather do it now than minus 20 or 90 degrees.
No, it was fine. I was happy to help out. But the point is, it's a gorgeous day. Temperature is going to be in the low 70s today across much of Wisconsin. But a quick serious note as well on the weather. Get outside during the daylight hours because starting, maybe after 8 o'clock this evening, expecting a front to move through. And it's kind of shifted a little bit more south. But essentially, if you go from La Crosse over to just north of Wisconsin Dells and then kind of take an arc down maybe towards the Waukesha area, very roughly, and then everything south and west of that, particularly for our listeners down along in Rock County, along in Monroe County, along the Illinois border and southwest Wisconsin, WRCE, WMDX listeners, there's a chance for some severe weather later on tonight. In particular, high winds are going to be the main part of this. It's going to move pretty quickly. We need the moisture, of course, for our agriculture producers and lawns, but it looks like an inch or less of rain in most areas because it's going to move so quickly. But the big reason that they're wanting to call attention to this is the strong winds. May expect straight line winds up to 70 miles per hour, which is pretty close to severe thunderstorm. And they can't rule out a tornado in these areas as well. And so enjoy the nice weather today. Enjoy the sunshine. Just be aware that in some parts of Wisconsin, particularly south of La Crosse, over to north of Wisconsin Dells, and then kind of make an arc down towards Waukesha-ish, and then everything south of that, south and west of that, is in the kind of the danger zone. The rest of Wisconsin, particularly Green Bay over to Eau Claire. May see some rain showers with this front, maybe a thunderstorm as well. Lesser chance for a severe thunderstorm. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but lesser chances of it. So, and of course, the concern is that this front will move through after sunset, after it gets dark. And, always more dangerous when people can't see these fronts coming. They don't always present themselves. So make sure you have your weather radio on if you have one, your phone, your cell phone on, if you have those alerts on your phone. And, of course, keep it tuned to Civic Media as well, as we will continue to update you throughout the day and into the evening hours. So be aware of that. But, boy, it is. I'm getting the heck out of here as soon as this is done, Zommers.
I will be doing much the same.
Everybody's on vacation today, by the way. But by golly, we're here. And the wonderful folks in the traffic department, they're here making sure that the money is flowing in and the advertisements are going on and staged while our CEO is here.
Someone's got to make sure the trains run on time.
That's right. God love them. We appreciate all the great support behind the scenes here that keep this great operation going. Big show today. Glad you're along with us. We have a great What's Worse in hour number 2. I'm very excited about this. Our ongoing segment involving bodily gases. So that out of both ends. So we'll talk about that, about What's Worse. Also, our old friend Peter Rapine, for the managing editor of EPOM's World, is in at 1:30 with a humorous look at the week in review. Zommers has a board game for us in hour number 2 as well.
A very chill one.
Very chill. All right. Looking forward to that. And we'll get to some news as well today. Lots going on out in Washington, as per usual, and here in Wisconsin. But I want to start off by thanking our friend and colleague, and he fills in on this show occasionally when Zommers has a day off, Sam Davison, who is the producer of the John and Gordy Show. I'm assuming he baked this. I'm not sure. He said homemade. And Sam, today is Pie Day, for those that don't realize this. And look at this, for those watching on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Sam Davidson brought in this lovely homemade apple pie.
It's pretty good. Great way to celebrate Pie Day.
Thank you to Sam. I mean, this is fantastic. If you don't know what we're talking about, of course, March 14th is commonly referred to as Pi, P-I, not P-I-E, but P-I Day, a day that aims to celebrate the ratio of the circumference of a circle. The number is known as 3.14, or the sign for pi, and can actually go on forever. The most accurate value for pi, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, is more than 62 trillion digits. I'm not even going to... They have it all printed out here at USA Today.
Do they really? Oh, my gosh.
At USA Today.
What is it, like 7,000 pages?
Well, it's like 62 and then 3 sets of numbers, to be precise. It's calculated it was calculated in August of 2021 by the University of Applied Sciences in Switzerland. While the day is popular in math circles, probably why I never got into it that much, it's also a day for those looking to score great deals on actual pie, pizza pie, and other circular treats. I did not know they had big deals like this. Did you, Robert?
Yeah. I've taken advantage of them in the past, gone to various diner-like establishments, just get a big slice of pie for cheap.
I know the Hubbard Street Diner in Middleton.
That's where I've gone.
In one of the suburbs here of Madison. They usually do something.
They do a Pie Day thing.
Yep.
I think they do both Pie Days, like the number pie and PIE pie.
All
and
right.
Just like, well, celebrate them both.
Never a bad day to celebrate pie, right?
Truly.
Back to this article. It says, are you looking for a discount or a freebie? Well, we have you covered. Here's what you need to know about which companies are offering deals on this March 14th this year. Blaze Pizza. I don't think we have one of those in Wisconsin, do we? They're offering a buy one 11-inch pizza, get a second pizza of a lesser value for $3.14. So that's creative. That's pretty good. So if you have a Blaze Pizza near you, it says there are 300 locations in North America. I've never heard of them. Have you?
I haven't either.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Papa John's offers BOGO deal?
Buy
or
one, get one.
Bago? Oh, got it. I'm reading the letters. I'm like, what is that? Oh, buy one, get one. On Pi Day, exclusive deals for Papa Rewards members all week. Customers of Papa John's can buy one large or extra large pizza at regular menu prices and get another of equal or lesser value for $3.14 today. So there you go. If you want a deal, go to Papa John's on a pizza there. Also says, additionally, Papa Rewards members will receive exclusive offers all week.
Are you a Papa Rewards member?
I am not.
I'm not either.
I'm not. I'm sorry. What else? Marco? Do we have a Marco's Pizza in Wisconsin? Never heard of that.
Yeah, I know we used to have one in Manitowoc. I think
Oh, really?
It might still be there. I don't know.
All right. Well, customers at Marco's Pizza can get a medium one-topping pizza for $3.14 with the purchase of any large or extra large menu pizza with the code PI Day. PI Day. Put that in the code and you get your deal there. What else do we have? Perkins. There's Perkins in Wisconsin. Customers who visit Perkins today can present this, I guess there's a coupon, and get a slice of pie with an entree purchase. So I guess go to usatoday.com and then go down and click on it where it says this coupon, and you can get a free piece of pie apparently at Perkins as well. I think you have to have the coupon though, so make sure you do that. Just remember that. Sissy's Pizza, CICIS. Never heard
Probably
of that.
CC's, but
it's CC's. I clearly see. I didn't have enough coffee this morning. CC's Pizza customers who buy one medium or large pizza, the same type of deal. You get another one for $3.14. California Kitchen's having a deal today. 7-Eleven offers discounted pizza, quesadilla, and chicken tenders today. So you have a 7-Eleven. Stop in there. What else do we have? Schlotsky's Deli offering reward members a pizza or flatbread for $3.14 today. Paisano's Pizza has a deal. Famous Dave's offers a free slice of Baker's Square pie with a $10 medium purchase, or minimum purchase, today. We talked about Papa Murphy's already. Those are the big ones. So there you go. See, it paid to tune in today just to find a deal. I'm like the Monty Hall of civic media. Let's make a deal.
the deal has been made.
A deal has been made. So all kinds of things out there. Have you ever? Are you a participator? Do you celebrate Pi Day? If so, give us a call. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842.
I always did when I was younger because I was definitely a math nerd, and it was fun, make some pie on Pi Day and share it with my other dorky friends.
I wouldn't say dorky. I was just predominantly, because I found out later in life, as many people know, I'm dyslexic, and particularly with numbers. And so I had no interest. I don't find numbers interesting. I find them frustrating and a nuisance.
Totally understandable.
So I was much more into the baking part of it than I was the numbers part of it. But give us a call if you want to help celebrate Pi Day. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. We'll talk a little bit about pie. And also, coming up a little bit later here, where does each of our $100, for every $100 that we pay in federal taxes, where does that go? We'll discuss it. Stay tuned. It's the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
News and great conversation.
Cam asking about Anonymous, the hacking group. Weren't they at least partially responsible for the recent Twitter outages?
Really?
I remember seeing something about that. I could be misremembering.
Scout workshops after dark, and the new Camp Wildside. They also offer field trips, birthday parties, service days, and their new Paws and Pages reading program. Learn more at giveshelter.org/education.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Celebrate the women who have helped shape
This
the
pie
world.
is very
as we
good, by the way,
honor
for
Women's
folks watching
History
on the
Month
stream.
with all of
Congratulations
the
and thank you to
Wisconsin
Sam.
Zone. We recognize the leadership of
I'm sorry to eat
Patricia
in front of
Zunker.
you, everybody,
This
but it was
history
very
maker
good.
from the Wausau area is the first Native American woman to run for Congress. Zunker is a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation and has served as a justice on its Supreme Court, leading the fight for healthcare and the rights of indigenous communities. She's also
My
a teacher
belt
and former
arrived at
president of the
home.
Wausau
I
School
ordered
Board.
a leather belt
She
with a
believes
brass
in
buckle.
standing
I
up for
paid like
students and
$100.
teachers,
Now,
promoting
Zommers,
inclusivity and
you should have
equity
told
in
me. I would
education.
just went down to
Zunker's
the
campaign
Jazz
for
Man on
Congress
State
and
Street
advocacy
and
for
bought
our
a beautiful
community
Italian
inspires
leather
women
belt
of
with a
every
nice buckle
background.
for
They-
$93.
She is a reminder for all people
They-
to pursue leadership
When I checked
roles
there,
to
this was a
make
while ago, but when I
their
checked there, they didn't
voices
have any with
heard.
brass, and I can't do
Recognize
nickel.
the powerful women from the past.
You're allergic
and
to
those
nickel?
Who are still
I think
writing
so.
their own
I get a
personal
rash when I have a
history.
belt with a nickel
I'm Maggie Dahl.
buckle.
She's my number pie. 3.14159
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 21 past the hour of 12 noon on 314. That's not cherry pie, Zommers. What do you dial up?
The Irrationally Long Number Pie song from Dropout used to be known as College Humor. It's like a 10-year-old video. I think I played it last year on Pi Day too. But this song is 14 minutes long.
Well, of course it is.
Because they just keep going until they all collapse from exhaustion.
Welcome back to the show on this National Pie Day. P-I, not P-I-E. Although the wonderful and talented Sam Davison, the producer of John and Gordy, the morning show here on WMDX in Madison, who is Mr. Zommer's fill-in when he's gone on this show, has made us this lovely apple pie. And let me tell you, it's delicious. So celebrating Pie Day a little bit to kick off the show today. Several deals around, particularly pizza places. Some places that serve sweet pie, P-I-E, as well. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Let's go to Cindy, listening in Appleton. Cindy, thanks for calling. Let's see you.
Well, here's a number maybe you can wrap your head around. Pi squared twice is more than I can eat in one sitting.
Pie squared twice is more than you can eat at one sitting. I like that. I like that.
That would be like a lot of pies, and I can't eat that many pies.
What's your favorite pie, Cindy? Do you have a favorite pie that you eat?
I do. I have lots of favorite pies, so I can't really. I guess everybody says apple pie. I guess that's probably. I like my own apple pie because I'm really a good apple pie maker. But
sure,
I will never stick my nose up at anything but a mincemeat pie. So.
All right, not a big mincemeat person. All right, but that's more of a savory pie, right?
It's not... I don't know. I wouldn't even eat one.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling, Cindy. 855-752-4842. You can check in on Pi Day, March 14th, 2025, 314, 3.14 pi. But also, but we have a texter that texted in saying, ask people what their favorite eating pie is. You may get more callers. That's true. You can also text or call in about your favorite pie in terms of what you like to eat. 855-752-4842. Todd, listening on WISS in Oshkosh, our great station there, says, today is my wife Nancy's birthday. We always celebrate with pie, and she's gotten several very festive and clever pie t-shirts over the years. Well, happy birthday, Nancy. A pleasant birthday to you on this Pie Day. Also, what else we have here?
That's it for now.
That's it for now. All right, very good. If you want to call or text in what your favorite pie is, 855-752-4842, or you can dial us up on the Civic Media app. I mean, it's kind of a cool day, right? I mean, it's a thing to sell. Like I said, I was just never a math person. So anyway, there's that. Let's go quickly to a couple of national things happening in the more serious side of the news. I want to touch on this a little bit. Off of CNN right now, Democrats are torn over Democratic leader in the U.S. Senate Chuck Schumer's support for the bill to avert a shutdown. This is making a lot of rounds today, this morning. Latest headline is the Senate is expected to hold a vote this afternoon to break a Democratic filibuster on the House-passed spending bill, a critical initial step to the measure as Congress stares down a midnight government funding deadline. Democratic votes will be needed to break the filibuster, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced last night that he will vote for the GOP stopgap funding bill. While a key first step, the Senate will have to take a second vote today or tonight to give final approval to the funding bill. Senate leadership does not yet have the timing agreement on when that final vote would occur. So here's the deal. If there is not a continuing resolution bill passed by midnight tonight, the federal government shuts down for all intent and purposes. And of course, you have a lot of military folks, federal workers, who will not get paid. The old line is, unless you're, quote unquote, an essential worker, which means, you have a direct, the people who arm the nuclear weapons, people who are, obviously people who are on ships at sea right now. Those are essential workers. But it affects a lot of people, a lot of enlisted folks, a lot of officers, the military. Government shuts down. They send people home. I've been part of a government shutdown in the 90s when I worked for a member of Congress. And so the Republicans and Mike Johnson were able to keep all but one of their people on the ranch. In other words, they only lost one vote. So it passed, this continuing resolution through, I believe, September, passed in the U.S. House by one vote. All the Democrats voted no. That creates a conundrum. Who used to be a great state senator from western Wisconsin, Senator Conundrum. Not really. Because it's a conundrum for Senate Democrats, because these continuing resolutions, unlike a mainline bill that requires 60 votes in the U.S. Senate, Republicans only have, 52 members or so in the U.S. Senate. So to get to 60, it's going to require Democratic votes. The challenge is for Democrats is that this continuing resolution, while it would continue to fund government, federal government, it also includes several cuts. Some of it to veteran services, like the burn pit victims. Some of it, the recently passed 988, and we use that a lot of this show, probably not enough. If you or somebody that you love is facing a mental health crisis, all you have to do now is pick up a phone, thanks to, large part, to U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, and dial 988.
Or text, if you are more comfortable that way.
Correct. And there are cuts to that program. So for that reason, Senator Tammy Baldwin has announced she is a no vote on this. But if they can't get to 60, then the government shuts down. So then it's going to look like the Democrats are responsible for shutting the government down because they didn't want to be, quote unquote, bipartisan. Zomer and I were talking about this morning, and Tammy Baldwin made this point, that the fact that Republicans didn't have Democrats at the table to negotiate this is a large part of the reason we're in this conundrum. Republicans basically put a political gun to the Democrats' head and said either vote for this or don't, but never included them in the discussion. We'll come back and discuss it ourselves. 855-752-4842. Come on back.
Real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX. This is your local civic media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
Wisconsin is remaining even on milk production, but what's happening with the rest of the country? I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report, and Matt Tranel, a dairy risk specialist with Everag, is here to give insight into what the rest of the country's milk production is looking like.
California is the one to watch, and they were still down 5.7% in the last milk production report, but coming off the heels of being down 10% and then 8%. A lot of the anecdotal reports that we collect from some of our clients out in California would suggest that they are.
Cam has sent us a little meme he made of Earl.
Ding, 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 ding. Come on, man.
Oh my God. Cam, you're a very talented individual.
That is funny. For those of you who could not see it, which is everybody, basically Earl had been, I don't know, I guess making a point or mocking something and going like ding, 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 and like you heard. And Cam had his face emerging from a train tunnel.
It was pretty funny. Well done.
And what he said was, would this meme of Earl bring joy to Todd's heart?
It does. Because Earl brings joy to my heart.
Enhanced flowability, improved singulation, and fewer skips, but with a powerful jolt of nourishment. This improves uptake and vigor during emergence, leading to stronger stand establishment and increased uniformity. Go with QuickShot to help your seed reach its full yield potential. Contact your local Helena representative or authorized dealer for more information about QuickShot. Always read and follow label instructions and check registration status before use.
Loss of appetite, drop in milk production, and dehydration are all key indicators of HPAI, or bird flu. This disease is a threat to cattle health and farmers' bottom line. Help protect your herd and reduce the spread by keeping animals hydrated and eating with BioVet. Bovine Gold Light provides key electrolytes for livestock, and our direct-fed microbial products support digestive health and appetite. Learn more at bio-vet.com.
Innovation, that's BioVet.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report. Now let's take a look at how the markets are moving midday on this warm Friday. Much like the weather across the U.S., the markets are mixed today as cash corn is down 5 3/4 at $4.59.5, with new crop corn down 2 at $4.50 1/4. Cash soybeans are up 1 1/4 at $10.12, with new crop soybeans up 3 at $10.14 3/4. May wheat contracts are down 2 1/4 at $5.60 1/4, with July wheat down 1 1/2 at $5.76 3/4. Class 3 milk is seeing slight gains as April contracts are up 2 cents at $18.12 a hundredweight, and May contracts are up 4 cents at $18.18 a hundredweight. With a look at your midday markets from the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
Warm and windy today. With gusts approaching 40 miles per hour, it'll shove our high temperatures to the mid-70s. And with spring-like conditions, bring spring storms. They'll arrive late tonight. Some could be strong to severe with high winds, hail, and tornadoes are possible. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Right now, 67 degrees.
Always a good time when you stop in at Ooga Brewing in Beaver Dam. Music for the Shamrockin' Bar Crawl. March 15th, it starts with Whitney Rose at 4 p.m. and James Crockett at 10. Then be sure to check out the Bachfest celebration March 22nd and the annual tapping of Roaming Goat Maibach, plus live music, campfires, and beer spiking available for a limited time. Ooga Brewing Company, 301 South Spring Street, part of Beaver Dam's vibrant downtown.
As a federally licensed broadcast company, this civic media station is required by FCC regulations to accept advertising by all qualified candidates for federal office. We also accept ads from state and local candidates. We do screen announcements from issue groups and PACs and exercise discretion in airing announcements with blatantly false claims or outrageous unfounded statements. These announcements do not necessarily reflect the views of civic media, its hosts, or advertisers.
And having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Glad to have you along on a TGIF Friday, March 14th. It's Pi Day. 314. 3.14 is mathematical pi. Lots of places having deals on sweet pie, or maybe pizza pies. Check them out today. You might buy one and get one for $3.14. That's what some places are doing. Our own Sam Davidson has brought in a beautiful apple pie.
It's tasty. I ate a larger than necessary slice, and
It was
I'm feeling
delicious.
very good about it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite pie, Zommers?
That is tough. I think I have to say apple pie, but much like Cindy in Appleton who called in earlier, I'm not going to turn up my nose at any pie except pecan pie, things like that,
Right.
because those would kill me.
You have nut allergies, yes. Boy, it's a close, it's a tie at my top. Either my mom's homemade apple pie with apples from Oakwood Fruit Farm, one of our great sponsors, longtime sponsors at WRCO, WRCE out in Richland Center. You can't go wrong with some Oakwood Fruit Farm apples in mom's homemade apple pie. And then also my maternal grandmother's recipe for a rhubarb custard pie.
Right. I think you've mentioned that before. Yeah.
Boy, you know it's spring when you have your first rhubarb custard pie. So those would be my two favorites. What are your favorite pies? Give us a call, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or feel free to text us on the Civic Media app. Brian, listening on WAUK in Milwaukee, says cherry pie is his favorite. All right, very good. Also, Len in Madison, March 14th is a day for going round and round about pie. Nicely done, Len in Madison. It absolutely is. 36 minutes past the hour of 12 noon. Also on to touch on what's happening in the Senate today, United States Senate out in Washington, D.C., trying to get a continuing resolution passed to avoid a shutdown of the federal government, but it's causing havoc amongst Democrats right now. Many Democrats are attacking Chuck Schumer because the Senate Democratic leader is saying he's going to vote for this Republican bill to keep the government running because he doesn't want to see federal workers, particularly military people, go without pay. But there are those in the Democratic caucus who say, and the reason I know people are saying, well, Republicans control everything. Why do they need Democrats? It's without going into the fine technicalities of it. This particular type of bill, a continuing resolution, requires 60 votes in the Senate. And there are not that many Republicans. So in order to pass this, you have to have some Democrats cross over if it's to pass. And Schumer basically saying, look, this is not perfect, but we have to keep government open, in his opinion. And I think there's also some political calculation. He doesn't want Democrats to be left holding the ball and get the blame for shutting government down. Now, there's lots of polls out there that say, that more people are going to blame the Republicans. And I mean, there's a poll for everything, right? What United States Senator Tammy Baldwin from Wisconsin has said today, I'm going to read it for you. Quote, Republicans control every lever of power in Washington, and it's their job to figure out a way to govern. Unfortunately, they have decided to walk away from the bipartisan full year spending bill that we wrote together. I want to step away from her statement for a minute. That's a very important point that Senator Baldwin makes. There was a bipartisan bill to fund government for a whole year that Republicans walked away from at the behest of Donald Trump. Back to Senator Baldwin's statement. Now, without even pretending to negotiate or compromise, the Republicans expect Democrats to pass a bill they drafted behind closed doors that gives Donald Trump and Elon Musk a slush fund to spend for their pet projects, all while gutting resources for Wisconsin fire and police departments, our 988 suicide hotline, healthcare, and support for our dairy farmers and veterans. You are damn right I'm against that. But make no mistake, I am and always will be willing to work with my Democratic and Republican colleagues to find common ground and pass funding bills that deliver for working families, children, veterans, and small businesses. We need to get back to the table and work to do just that, unquote. That is the words from U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin while she is voting no.
That sounds very reasonable to me,
It's a very,
personally.
it's a very reasonable position. I won't go into the whole thing right now, but people that regularly listen to this show know I'm a big Star Trek fan, and there is a test in the fictional Starfleet Academy called the Kobayashi Maru test. And it's based on a starship called the Kobayashi Maru that is stranded in a neutral zone, a place that Starfleet's not supposed to go, with a bunch of people on board. And it's a training exercise for new Starfleet captains. It's a test of character. Do you violate Starfleet regulations and go into the neutral zone to rescue the people, or do you adhere to regulation and let people die? It's a no-win scenario. You understand? You can't win either way. And what Democrats find themselves here in Washington, D.C. today in the United States Senate is a Kobayashi Maru. It's a no-win scenario. 855-752-4842. Gene in Eau Claire listening on WCFW, The Tap. Gene, is it as beautiful in Eau Claire, Gene, as it is here today?
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous here.
Fantastic.
Gorgeous.
What do you have for us?
Oh, and by the way, what you held on Wednesday was outstanding. I hope everybody, if you guys are going to play it somewhere, I think it was outstanding. Great job.
Well, thank you. The credit for that goes to Pat Kreitlow and all the folks at Up North News. I just showed up and asked a couple of questions, but the folks at Up North News and Pat Kreitlow did a remarkable job. I appreciate that, Gene. I'll pass that on to him.
Yeah, I was really impressed. The problem here is we're fighting a person who abuses all of the people in our country.
Mm.
Everybody's being attacked in some way or another, and they need to stand up to an abuser. Trump has an abusive personality. He really does. He even goes after our neighbors. He goes after anybody that doesn't praise him or bow down to him, and they need to stand up. And what they're offering is a 30-day CR that they work together on to keep the government open for 30 days so they do their jobs. And instead, Republicans are running away and kowtowing and giving up their authority to do these types of things, to give it to the president and Elon Musk. So people really pay attention to this. Listen to what they're saying about this. This is serious. This is not the Democrats kowtowing because they're fighting back, the ones that are saying no. They're not trying to hurt everybody. They're saying no. You're not going to hurt the people anymore in our country. So thank you very much for this subject, and you have a good weekend.
Gene, before you go, Gene, I appreciate the call on politics as always, but it is Pie Day. What's your favorite pie, Gene?
There's a new one I never had before, and it's a lemon, like a lemon meringue type pie, and just outstanding.
Really?
Well, it's a little bit on the addicting side, so
all right.
I don't know. Once you have it, you'll love it.
Thanks, Gene. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Want to take a minute here. Apparently, our friend and colleague, Jane Matnair of Matnair on Air every morning, from 10 until noon, right before us, has called in, Mr. Zomers, and she's giving us an on-the-scene traffic report. She says she's going north on I-94 past Highway 20, and there's a big traffic jam there that people should be aware of. Do we know if that's an accident or if it's just...
She said there was it must be some big event letting out, a lot of people going out of a parking lot.
Got it.
And I'm looking at 511wi.gov. It does not give more details, but there are a few incidents in that area with closed lanes. So
well, we appreciate Jane calling in and doing double duty as a traffic reporter here. Wouldn't it be great if we got Jane a helicopter? Then she could just be flying around the greater Milwaukee area.
As long as there's a fruit plate on the helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome into the WAUK traffic helicopter. I'm Jane Matnair. No, we thank you, Jane. We appreciate that. I think Jane would like a helicopter. We could fly up to Amory, have lunch, and come back, and all the same day. But in all seriousness, if you're heading north of high I-94 around Highway 20, please avoid that area or certainly allow extra time. We appreciate Jane taking the time to call in and give us that information. 855-752-4842. Let's go to Ollie in the North Woods. Ollie, thanks for calling in. What do you have?
Well, first off, I want to commend Cammie Baldwin. I agree wholeheartedly. The Republicans left the Democrats out of this, and so they should suffer the consequences. And no matter what happens, yay or nay, they're going to blame it on the Democrats anyways. And of course Biden. It's always everything's his fault. So that's where I stand. I was up most of the night calling every Democrat who I had numbers and calling the Capitol building and leaving messages, including for Chuck Schumer, and asking him to stand firm and ask for a resolution that both of the parties have agreed upon. I do believe we need to work together as a two-party country to save our country and not just fall in line with President Rump and Elon Musk.
Sounds
and my favorite pie.
Yes, go ahead.
My favorite pie is my mom's homemade butterscotch pie. And my mom's long gone, and I never got her recipe. But I also love mincemeat pie, which is made with apples and raisins. And at one time, it actually was made with beef and beef tallow
that's what I
in
thought.
the recipe.
Yeah.
But they no longer use that, even though they still call it mincemeat.
Yeah. But it has a history in beef, so that's interesting. Thanks, Holly. Well, I appreciate sharing about your mom's butterscotch pie as well. I mean, those recipes from our loved ones long ago. I mean, if you're able to get them, and I'm very thankful that we were able to get my grandmother's rhubarb custard pie because we made it with her three or 4 days, 3 or 4 years before she passed, and then she'd say. We'd say, she'd say, well, how much vanilla did you put in? Well, a teaspoon. That's what your recipe says. And then she quietly says, well, I usually use 2.
There you go. You update it.
She had left. She didn't want to let anybody know while she was, around making it herself what the real recipe was.
Understandable.
But as it got closer to her passing, she was willing to give us the actual recipe, which was very nice of her. 855-752-4842. Let's go out to Los Angeles, California. Now, normally this time of year, when LA Tom comes on, I'm enormously jealous because of the nice weather out there on the Pacific Coast. But LA, you tell us, it's going to be 70 here. You're telling us it's 49 out there?
That is correct. It's 49 and rainy and windy and, cold.
All right. Very good.
The reason why I called, Todd, is I want to mention, and I put it on the YouTube link, but this is a dirty CR. In this CR, there is what's called the Enabling Act, which actually lets the Congress cede power to the executive branch, to the president. So all of these people right now that have been fired, right now it's illegal that they've been fired. But if the Republicans cede power to the president, all of those court cases will go away because the president can just say that, nope, it's not illegal at all. And we did this, and Doge did it, and it was all okay.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to call in and say, shut down the government unless you get a truly clean CR. And I really think that, they're already shutting it down little by little.
Oh, I'm up against the clock, LA. Thanks for calling in. Stay warm out there, Los Angeles. Come on back, take your phone calls, and talk pie a little bit more on the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Every year, millions of pets go missing, leaving families heartbroken. If you lose or find a pet, Love Lost is here to help. Our free, easy-to-use platform uses photo matching technology across multiple media platforms to bring lost pets home. Just upload a photo and quickly search the largest national lost and found pet database. Let's unite to reunite, because every lost pet deserves to find their way home. Register today at lovelost.com.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
What do you think about Donald Trump firing 80,000 employees of the VA? Steve from Madison, also a veteran. I'm hearing from one of our conservative texters saying it's okay because it saves money.
How does it save money if it kills people? I mean, how many suicides are there amongst veterans? How many of our seniors need health care? I mean, you take away money from us and it kills us. That's what it does.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is 9 before the hour of 1 o'clock. ABC, CBS News coming up at the top of the hour. Check of weather and sports. And then we're going to do a little What's Worse for You today, having to do with bodily gases. That'll be a lot of fun. A board game of the week with our own Mr. Zommers. And then Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, is in with a week in review at 1:30. Don't forget the Wisconsin Badgers. I mean, we love to have you around and stay around for the rest of our show here. It's going to be a good one. But I know that some people are looking for the Wisconsin men's Badger basketball game. That pregame show started at 12:30. The tip-off time will be right around 1:30. It depends on the end of the first game between Oregon and Michigan State for the Big Ten tournament. You can hear those games on the stations on Amory, Wisconsin Rapids, and Richland Center. So if you're looking for basketball at 1:30, it's Amory, Wisconsin Rapids, Richland Center. Our show will continue on the rest of the News Talk Sports Network. And you can find all of our stations for free on the Civic Media app. Download it today at your Apple or Android device. Talking about Pi Day, P-I, but also what is your favorite P-I-E kind of pie? Also talking about what's happening in Washington, D.C., the U.S. Senate. Democrats in particular, a tough choice. Do you vote to keep the government open on this Republican bill that you were not able to be involved with and that will do some damage? Or do you stand your ground and say, no, we're going to stand on this in principle and stand up to some of these poison pills in this, but you may get blamed for shutting down the government? 855-752-4842. Let's go to Dick in Madison on WMDX. Dick, thanks for calling. What say you?
Well, I agree with Senator Baldwin as well as most of the callers so far. But I've heard this lame excuse, I don't know if it's true, about some of these Democrats being fearful that it also shuts down the judicial end of the government, and that's all we got left.
Yeah.
But in speaking to that, however, could Trump possibly be resigning today? The reason I say that is, well, he's speaking to the Justice Department, and the topic is going to be returning the rule of law. If that's the topic, he has to be resigning.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's. I mean, sure.
I
You
can't
take
think of anything else. Can you?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. But good point, Dick. Thank you. 85. Oh, what's your favorite pie, Dick? What's your favorite pie? Oh, Dick's gone. Sorry. 855-752-4842. All right, we're going to start with Mark in Perdisac. Mark, so we don't forget, what's your favorite pie?
Pumpkin pie for me.
All right. Very good.
That I make I get some gluten-free crusts, and and pumpkin pie is quick and easy, and it's pretty tasty, and add a little bit more zip to it with a little bit extra pumpkin pie spice. And as to vanilla, I always add an extra teaspoon of vanilla when I'm making my chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. That's a tried and true secret.
And then some honey too to those chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
It adds a little bit. You wouldn't think it was, but you can actually tell when it's there.
Right. Very good. What else do you have for us today?
Oh, I don't know. It's just I'd say not let it go through and let the chips fall away. It may, and they just had to come out strong and said this is what this bill actually does. That it takes away veteran services, and for these people to be taking away those services for those veterans, for Corporal Bone Spurs to be doing this, Elon Musk was never served any place except for himself. It is just. I guess the voters have to be made aware of what is actually in this thing, because it is just another power grab for Donald Trump, who actually, who knows, he's probably having plans drawn up to invade Canada, invade Greenland, and who knows who else he wants to invade, Panama.
The list goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
Yeah, we'll see. I appreciate your call, Mark, and thanks for your call. Appreciate it as always. My compadre, the father of my godson, Kurt, listening in right now, saying his favorite pie is his mom's coconut cream pie. Connie is a mean baker, and by that I mean fantastic. Connie's cream pie. He says my second favorite pie is any pie that my good friend Todd makes me. Hint, hint. Apparently, I need to be making more pies and heading down to Monroe. No, Kurt and Fort, we made a lot of great desserts. Most of them turned out great. One time in college, we spent all day making a chocolate souffle that fell after we took it out. And this was like a 4-hour process, but it tasted delicious. It looked terrible, but
as long as it tasted good, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. 855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to Wisco Paul. Wisco, if you can make it quick, please. What do you have?
Pretty easy for me. Coconut cream pie, and I hope the Democrats vote no.
All right. Hey, that's Trump, great. Go ahead.
All right.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I hope the Democrats, the Senate, vote no. Trump seems to like this, and I think at some point you have to draw a line in the sand, if you will. And I don't think the people will hold the Democrats responsible for shutting down the government, because this bill is just god-awful bad. Okay, a great show today.
Hey,
Coconut
thanks.
cream.
All right, very good.
Awesome.
Coconut cream, fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate it, Wisco. I don't disagree with Wisco in that if people really understood and if they get the truth about the bill, I agree with him. My concern is that message won't get out in today's ecosystem.
It's very easy for Fox News and Joe Rogan and whatever else to just go on and be like, well, the Democrats just wouldn't vote for it. It looks pretty clean to me.
Right. And I think, again, it comes down to messaging. It doesn't, the facts don't always matter. It's how you message, which is really the big part of this. All right, come back. We will talk about on top of hour 2, for every $100 we send the federal government, where does that money go? We will tell you, do what's worse, board game of the week, and Peter Rapine, jam-packed second hour. Come on back as the Allbaugh Show in Civic Media.
Real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX.
Pete Schwaba. On the next Nightlight, I welcome wonderfully Wisconsin's Paul Vanderplas, and it's a bar band Friday night with our friend and Max Inc. radio host, Terry Barr. Let's light it up.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8. The Maggie Dawn Show.
Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, he would not be negotiating with the GOP if he was Wisconsin's sitting senator.
I want to clarify, like, I'm always happy to negotiate in good faith, but we're talking about a party that's not acting in good faith. We shouldn't be in a position where we're throwing a life raft to somebody who is hell-bent on sinking the entire ship.
Not something I want to be involved in.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app. This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's home for real news and great conversation. A Civic Media station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Concerns over a widening trade war, sliding stocks, and a looming government shutdown. The deadline midnight when the government runs out of money. The Democratic leader in the Senate now says he will not oppose the House-passed funding bill, saying a shutdown would add to troubles for Americans. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
We're seeing this bounce because it appears that we are going to avert a government shutdown. But we saw it decline because there was a lot of confusion over these tariffs. A lot of consumers need more stability because if they're concerned about prices going up, if they're concerned about losing their jobs, they're losing that consumer confidence, an 11% decrease in the last month, and it's been down for months, and it could get worse.
President Trump making a stop at the Justice Department today. He's expected to address staffers as his administration vows to reshape the agency. Severe storms on the march across much of the nation this weekend, along with extreme fire danger in parts of the South. This is ABC News.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
From the WMDX newsroom, I'm Terry Barr. The NFL draft is just around the corner, and the Packers are releasing the new season ticket prices. Brittany Merlot has more.
The Green Bay Packers released their ticket prices for the upcoming season, and fans are going to have to spend a bit more money. Regular season tickets will increase between $7 and $21 per game. Of course, it depends on where you want to sit at Lambeau. Preseason ticket prices are roughly half the regular season prices, and those will increase between $3
I'll
to
keep an eye out
$11
for
per
an
game.
email from Peter, but the one we have from CP has some audio for the tornado hitting a news station as they're reporting on it, and I have that audio.
This release indicates the community-based science program needs some volunteers to do surveys about rare plants across the state and track the population trends during conservation efforts. The program's been around since 2013. Last year, more than 70 volunteers turned in reports related to 220 rare plants. If you're interested, find upcoming training sessions online. And it's nature and art for interested high school students. There's a design competition for next year's state park passes. Melissa Kay has this story.
High school students can submit designs for next year's Wisconsin State Park and Forest Vehicle Admission passes. This is for all high school-age students in Wisconsin. The artwork should focus on outdoor recreation, animals, or plants in the state. Steve Schmelzer is the Parks and Recreation Management Bureau Director. He said this is a great opportunity for students to blend their artistic passion and interest in our natural resources. He's grateful for all of the students who submit artwork and said it's never an easy choice to pick just one design. The vehicle admission passes provide access to more than 60 state park, forest, and recreation area properties across Wisconsin. The design contest is open now through April 30th.
I'm Terry Barr for 92.7 FM, 1580 AM WMDX. More news anytime at WMDXradio.com.
The Bucks sink the Lakers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Bucks at the Lakers at Fiserv Forum. LA without LeBron James. Luka Doncic had 45 points. The Bucks still won by 20. 126 to 106. Milwaukee's Kevin Porter, 5 of 7 from the three-point line.
When we put the pieces together on both ends, you know, it's going to be very hard to beat us. And that's kind of what we're just trying to figure out. Definitely had some lapses on defense and offense, but we'll take this game every night.
Men's college basketball, the Badgers take on UCLA today in the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin with a 70-63 win over Northwestern to advance. In New York, Marquette tonight against the number 1 seed St. John's in the Big East. After beating Xavier 89-87, Shaka Smart on Stevie Mitchell, sparking a come-from-behind victory.
Such a unique player. You can't quantify it. He willed us to come back when we were dead in the water. I love the guy.
That's head coach Shaka Smart with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
Warm and windy today. With gusts approaching 40 miles per hour, it'll shove our high temperatures to the mid-70s. And with spring-like conditions, bring spring storms. They'll arrive late tonight. Some could be strong to severe with high winds, hail, and tornadoes are possible. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Currently, it's 69 degrees.
I'm planning our family vacation and need a pet sitter.
We use a house sitter from Hotel K Pet Sitting. You know, freebellyrubs.com.
Free belly rub?
Freebellyrubs.com.
They're local, dependable, and totally spoil our pets. When we get home, our house is just
It used to be, for those who don't know, it used to be a
and the
short-lived
daily messages and
business
pictures really
on the
gives us
Capitol
peace of mind
Square.
while
This is
we're
not,
away.
not that
For
long
house
ago, like
sitting,
10
cat
years
sitting,
ago.
and dog walks,
Called,
it's
I think it
Hotel
was
K
called
Pet Sitting.
Cuddles.
Reserve now at
And you could go up,
freebellyrubs.com.
and there were people that would, with your clothes on, would
At
cuddle
National
you
Geographic
in
Society,
cuddle
we
rooms
believe
on
in the
beds.
power of wonder. It drives us to
I'm
explore,
not making this up.
pushes us to see the world
The
differently,
look on
and moves
Summer's
us to
face
action.
right
And we believe that today, wonder is more
I'm
essential
serious.
than ever.
Wow,
That's
that's.
why we're
It lasted
supporting a
like
new
3 months,
generation of
maybe
I was
four.
gonna say that tracks that it got shut down pretty quick. About 30 seconds.
All right.
Live from the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It is 6 past the hour of 1 o'clock. Welcome into hour number 2 of the big broadcast. Glad to have you along on this TGIF Friday, March 14th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. It is gorgeous outside. Sunshine, 70 degrees. Get out and enjoy it today. As Brittany Merlot said, from much of Wisconsin, particularly, and I'm using southwest corner, maybe I should say southwest third or something, very broadly. Think basically from the La Crosse area-ish over to, let's say, Wisconsin Dells, and then kind of arc down and towards Waukesha.
The palm of the hand.
That's a great way to put it, Sommers. The palm of the hand. Yes, absolutely. If you look at that as Wisconsin. That whole area is susceptible to heavy weather tonight after sundown, starting in the west, probably after 8 o'clock, the western part of the state. Some of those storms could contain high gusty winds and hail, damaging winds, and there's a chance for tornadoes as well. Not sure if you knew this or not, but 70 degrees on the 14th of March, not particularly normal. We love it, but it's not particularly normal. So that's going to clash with the cold air, and that's going to cause storms. It's going to move quickly, so we don't expect this to be a huge rain event, although we could use the moisture. Less than an inch or less of rain possible probably out of the system. But it could be very dangerous for some folks. La Crosse, Richland Center, Platteville, Madison, Beloit, Janesville, maybe the Dells, over to Watertown, Lake Mills area. And other places in Wisconsin may get severe thunderstorms, but the worst of it is in that area that I mentioned. So keep an eye on the sky after sundown, and here at the Civic Media Radio Network as well. We will keep you informed. It's also Pi Day, Pi 3.14 mathematically. We're asking you what your favorite PIE pie is as well. One of our listeners, Tom, down in Florida, saying pie in the sky is his favorite kind of pie. That's so Tom. Pie in the sky, but I love it. Absolutely. Big hour. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do a little what's worse for you in just a moment. Also, Zombers is a board game of the week, and Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, will be in after the bottom of the hour with a week in review, a humorous look at the past week. Don't forget, if you're looking for almost the Brewers, if you're looking for the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team, they won yesterday afternoon in the Big Ten tournament over Northwestern, 70-63, as our great sports reporter Mike Clemens reported. And they are getting set to face UCLA in Indianapolis at around 1:30. You can find that game on our stations in Amory, Richland Center, and Wisconsin Rapids. You can listen to it for free on the Civic Media app, or stick around with us and have some fun. Maybe watch it on the Big Ten Network and stick around with us on the app. I can tell you in the first game this afternoon, it's looking like if Wisconsin can knock off UCLA, it would be a rematch against conference champions Tom Izzo and Michigan State University. Michigan State leading Oregon right now by a score of 73-64 with 30 seconds left in the game. So Izzo is going to advance. Badgers will be matched up against Michigan State in the semifinal tomorrow if they can pull out the win today. Mentioned this early in the broadcast. Lots of talk about Doggy, Elon Musk's made-up agency. All the cuts, where we're going to save our money. Well, few people are asking or answering the question, where does our money actually go? Where does each $100 that we pay in federal taxes actually go? Here now, consider these numbers from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, which show exactly where each of our $100 that we pay in federal taxes actually goes. This is great. The majority, 24%, or $24, pardon me, $24 of each $100 we send to the federal government goes to health insurance programs, things Medicaid and Medicare. $21 of every $100 we send to Washington goes to Social Security. $13 goes to defense. $13 to servicing our debt. $8 to benefits for veterans and federal retirees. $7 for every $100 we send to Washington goes to economic security programs. $5 to education. Just $2 to transportation. An entire dollar of every $100 goes to natural resource and agriculture programs. $1 to science and medical research. $1 to law enforcement. And boy, you wouldn't know it by watching a lot of conservative news and infotainment out there. But of every $100 that we send to Washington, D.C., the entire amount that goes to international programs, think USAID, $1. Since the beginning of Trump's administration, DOGE efforts have focused almost exclusively on areas that add up to roughly $2 and change. And in many cases, they haven't actually addressed perpetual spending, but simply laid off workers. Information from the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities. Think about that. For all the, for all of the brouhaha going on about how much spending how much is being cut by DOGE, they've only cut $2 and change for every $100 that we send them.
And even then, just by firing people, not by actually,
Right, exactly.
It's going to cost us more down the line.
Right.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, consider that it's always good to deal in facts. And this is the good part about Pi Day, P-I, numbers don't lie. Well, I guess you could cook the books, as they say. But if you're using honest numbers, and that's why a lot of mathematicians like numbers, because unlike the written word where you could kind of, zhuzh, to use the term these days, zhuzh it up, hard to zhuzh numbers if you have an honest mathematician or accountant.
Unless you're also using words.
Well, unless you're also using words. So anyway, I thought that was valuable as we go through the next few days, few months on what's going on in Washington, D.C. Breaking news right now. This is real. Our friend Brady Ewing, who comes on the program every other Friday, this is how dedicated Brady Ewing is. And his brother Brandon. This actually comes from Brandon. The Ewing brothers are absolutely dedicated to the show. Even on their week off, they're still providing us with factual news and sports information. Brandon texted me just now and says, Frantrum just got fired. I said, what?
Whoa.
And now, according to ESPN.com, University of Iowa is set to dismiss head coach Fran McCaffrey after 15 seasons, according to ESPN today. An official announcement could come as early as this afternoon. He's the school's all-time wins leader with 297. Iowa's season ended on Thursday with a 106-94 loss to Illinois in the second round of the Big Ten tournament, with McCaffrey getting ejected in the second half after being assessed 2 technical fouls for arguing with officials. Again, multiple sources are reporting at this hour University of Iowa men's basketball coach Fran McCaffrey out after 15 seasons. Tom Izzo, who just won and beat Oregon in the Big Ten Big Ten tournament game, he was talking, when they played Iowa here a couple weeks ago, look, they should keep this guy. He knows what he's doing. He kind of comes from the Tom Izzo era, by the way.
At the same time, if I acted at work the way that guy does, I would have been canned long ago.
He has some anger issues. So much so that his own son transferred out of the program, allegedly. So, anyway. It is 16 past the hour of 1 o'clock. Let's do a quick version here. Here we go. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. And of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. No prize money involved, nothing to give away. Simply your chance to be heard across Civic Media's normally 11 stations. We're down to 9 right now? No, 8 because of Badger basketball. This is fantastic. It has to do with bodily gases. And I think this is a real question.
It is.
What's worse? And it's timely indeed, because during basketball season, a lot, like I say, the office right now, you could throw a rock and not hit anybody. People are out watching basketball with their paid time off, and that's fantastic. They're enjoying. Luke Mathers is down in Arizona watching the Brewers, but this time of year, lots of sporting events going on, and people they like wings, they like pizza, foods that could cause us gas. So today's What's Worse? What's worse, hiccups or gas? Hiccups or gas? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. And for those watching on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, our graphic for today's segment shows a weather forecaster having a bad case of the hiccups at KSLA out in Los Angeles. And then Jim Nantz, speaking of basketball, though he's no longer the play-by-play guy on CBS for March Madness. He's now just doing the NFL. But it shows a picture of Jim Nantz, CBS's legend Jim Nantz. Summers, what's up with that?
He's got a bit of a wince on his face, and that's because Phil Simms just farted on him. Here's the audio from that. It's very funny.
All right.
The fart's hard to hear. It's a deep rumbler, but the reaction's hilarious.
Here we go.
6-yard field goal try.
Yeah, and then got to remember the win. We've talked about that, and I think it's warmed up, though, Jim, just to talk about the atmosphere of the game. Yeah. What do you think? Are you warmer now than you were earlier in the game? Or are you just numb?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm worried about you.
You really have to see the video because Jim Nantz he looks at him and literally gets out of his stool during a CBS game because Phil Simms is past gas. All right, come on back. What's worse, hiccups or gas? 855-752-4842 is the Allbaugh Show for a Friday on the Civic Media Radio Network.
from Madison. Real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate.
This is fantastic.
Folks, we've
Got
got
some
to
good
talk.
text
Eric
already.
Van
Good
Orden,
text.
the second-term congressman representing Wisconsin's 3rd District, is at it again, dodging public meetings
got a
and
little bit
making
of a
all kinds of
hiccup story
unhinged
as well.
comments.
All right.
As
You
many
may already-
scramble
I don't
and
know
struggle to
if I've
understand
mentioned
the
it, and
chaos
if I have,
of what's
if you
happening
remember
in
it.
Washington, D.C., and how it's impacting people here in Wisconsin, Van Orden has been as frustrating and disrespectful as ever. In one instance, Van Orden took to social media to berate a veteran who had been fired from his job at the VA by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. And the veteran in question is simply someone who was just reaching out to his congressman.
The hiccups have
looking
made
for
me
answers.
very averse
Van
to
Orden's
certain
office
brands of
has
sparkling
also
water.
hastily canceled
Really?
public meetings, and he has made some especially wild
super-carbonated ones.
accusations about people who have been attending these public events. Congressman Van Orden needs to stop this
DJ, if you're
unhinged
listening on the
madness,
stream
and
on
more
XCO,
importantly,
thank you
be
very
more
much.
available
DJ,
and accountable
obviously a
to his
Trekkie,
constituents.
thought
Find
the
all of Dan's
Kobayashi
work at
Maru
the
reference was it.
recombobulation
He gave me a
area
10
and
out
on
of
our
10.
website at
Thank you. I appreciate that, DJ.
civicmedia.us.
Time for the
Sir,
Eco Minute.
May I ask you a question?
What's on your mind, Lieutenant?
It's the Kobayashi Maru, sir.
Are you asking me if we're playing out that scenario now?
On the test, sir. Will you tell me what you did? I would really like to know.
Lieutenant, you are looking at the only Starfleet cadet who ever beat the no-win scenario.
How?
I reprogrammed the simulation so it was possible to rescue the ship.
What?
He cheated. I changed the conditions of the test. Got a commendation for original thinking. I don't like to lose.
One of the best scenes of Star Trek movies ever. That's fantastic. I can't believe you still have that. That's great.
I do.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 21 now past the hour of 1 o'clock on Friday, March 14th. Glad to have you along. Peter Rapine after the bottom of the hour with a humorous look at the weekend review. A quick reminder, courtesy of our colleague Jane Matnair, who is doing double duty today as traffic producer, saying that she is traveling north on I-94 past the Highway 20 intersection there, or off or on ramp, and a big backup. So I-94 headed north around Highway 20. Avoid that area if at all possible. Some traffic incidents around there, just a bad situation. So be aware of that for all of our listeners on WAUK, especially. Right now we're in the middle of what's worse, hiccups or gas. Hiccups or gas? Which one is worse? 855-752-4842. Let's go to Ollie in the North Woods. Ollie, hiccups or gas? What's worse?
Well, I'd like to frame my answer in the form of sports. It depends upon whether you're a passer or a receiver.
That's fantastic.
If you're a passer, it could be silent but deadly, and then you have a chance of looking around and pretending it was somebody else.
Right?
Where if it's hiccups, you're loud and proud, and there's nothing you can do about it, and the receiver just has to stand there and take it either way.
That's great. Whether you're the passer or the receiver, that's the best line of the day. Thanks, Holly. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. What's worse, hiccups or gas? Megan, listening in Sun Prairie on WMDX, says hiccups are way worse. They're so annoying that my husband will leave the room sometimes if I hiccup for too long. Our own Casper here at MDX says hiccups are worse for the hiccupee. Gas is worse for everyone else. So kind of along with Ollie, whether it's the passer or the receiver. What else we have here? Also, Brian listening on WAUK in Milwaukee. Gas is worse. Sometimes it's not gas. I can't read. It's all craps and giggles until the giggles and craps. Obviously, I don't pre-read these, folks. Jeff in Madison on WMDX says, I hate having hiccups more than receiving. I hate gas more. All right, very good. Hiccups can be annoying, says Data in La Crosse. Well, gas often feels pretty good. Wild gas often feels pretty good. That's true.
That's a good point.
If you're gassy and you have to pass gas, once you do it, it's like, oh, that's
a relief from the bloating.
Right, for the bloating. Kurt in Madison on WMDX. Hiccups can be very, very painful. I didn't know that.
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I drank some really highly carbonated sparkling water, and I had the hiccups approximately once a minute for 20 days.
Get the hell out of town.
I went to the doctor like multiple times, and then just like, we'll do some blood work to make sure you don't suddenly have cancer or something.
What?
Because apparently that can be a sign of that.
You had hiccups for 20 straight days?
It was miserable.
Even
it was
at night?
awful. It took me a long time to fall asleep, and I woke up earlier than I wanted. It was miserable.
Hiccups for 20. I've never heard of that happening.
I hadn't either.
Did somebody just tell somebody, look, follow me around to scare the crap out of me? Well, maybe not that, but
so for me, hiccups are worse because whenever I get them for more than a couple minutes, I'm like, oh no, not again.
I've never heard of that.
Like I said, I hadn't either, but I swear this happened. And I went to the doctor, and what eventually they had me do, all the tricks that you hear, like drink a bunch of water.
Right.
Eat a bunch of sugar and then drink a bunch of water, or like hold your breath and blow, like hold your nose and blow really hard and whatever. Like that's all the stuff they had me do, and it wasn't working. And then eventually it stopped.
Have you ever thought about, I've been saying this seriously, have you ever thought about donating your body to science before you pass? Because you're a very interesting person.
There's
medically.
a lot going on, yeah.
There's a lot going on. 20 straight days, Robert?
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh my gosh. Well, that tops everything I could add. I mean, clearly for you, the hiccups are worse. I agree with most people that said it depends on whether you're the giving or the receiving end. I mean, I've known some people, and maybe myself included. I mean, there are people that pass gas, and the paint in the room on the walls peels away. I mean, it's just ridiculously bad. For the person, I would not. I don't like hiccups because it just, I don't know why. All right, we got enough time to do a 3-minute version of board game of the week.
Sure, we could do that.
All right, here we go. A speed round board game of the week.
Board game of the week. The first consecutive board game of the week in quite some time.
Yes.
So earlier this week, at a all-staff meeting on Tuesday, Bob Ross became a topic of discussion.
Oh.
The famous painter, very relaxed fellow. You know, anyone can paint and guides people through turning happy mistakes into beautiful art.
Yes.
There's a board game that it reminded me of called Bob Ross, Art of Chill.
This came up in Tuesday's staff meeting?
It did.
I should start going to those. Go ahead.
My youngest sister got that game for Christmas one year, and we actually played it quite a bit, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, Bob Ross, Art of Chill. Basically, you have an easel, and Bob Ross paintings get put up with different features that you're trying to paint, and you're collecting cards with paints, different colors, and different supplies, and trying to paint the features within the amount of turns it takes you to move your little wooden Bob Ross figurine across the painting for him to finish
There's
it.
Bob Ross figurines?
Just one little wooden Bob Ross. Yeah.
Does it have the big hair?
It does.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And so you're just trying to chill and, paint along with him and see who can paint, the most accurate stuff at the same time as he does. And I will say the scoring mechanism makes the game sometimes end really fast. So I recommend if you do play this game to plan on just playing it double. Like it's fun.
It sounds really fun. I really like this one. What's it called?
Bob Ross, Art of Chill, and it's $15-$20. It's pretty cheap.
Does it come with gummies?
You have to provide your own.
Okay,
BYOG.
All right, there you go. Board game of the week. That was fantastic. That was one of the better ones you've done. I really like that one.
It's a fun one.
Have you played it?
Yeah, we played it a bunch.
Wow, you should bring it in sometime.
I'll have to see where she has it, if it's at my parents' house or at her apartment.
I love me some Bob Ross. There you are. Where's that little tree live? There lives little
Happy
squirrel.
little trees.
Happy little trees. We're going to come back with the Happy Peter Rapine and the week in review from EPOM's World. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. There he is, the star of stage and screen, the man that makes us all feel better, the one, the only, Peter Rapine.
What's up, boys?
That's fantastic. We were just talking about Bob Ross at a board game involving Bob Ross. And you know who Bob Ross is?
Yeah, the painter.
Yeah, the painter. Yeah. You have a little bit of that chill Bob Ross vibe sometimes. I like that.
Sorry, Aaron. I have a lot of good audio for you today. So just about every one of these we could pull audio from. Obviously,
hang on, he's on the. Hang on 2 seconds. He's on the phone with the caller. I don't know what's going on there. Stand by. I know he has audio for something, but
okay,
we can add more in.
Yeah, as heavy or as light as you guys want to go. There is one about sex noises, which I imagine is probably over the line.
Probably we can talk about it, but we probably can't use the audio, unfortunately.
Well, maybe we'll save that one to the end. Just
all right.
There's not a ton to say otherwise.
All right, Zomer, Rapine's got some audio, some additional audio.
Yeah, the first one I'll do is weatherman reporting on storm gets hit by flying fish. That audio is great. You can hear the fish hit him, then you can hear him scream. It's really funny. And then the TCL has good audio. Tornado has good audio.
Yeah, I got the tornado audio ready at least. I'll look at the rest of them.
Yeah, the weatherman one you can just play from the beginning. It's really short, at least the bits that are fun.
I imagine, since I was checking the phone call, I didn't hear. I imagine are we not doing audio for the sex noise one?
Well, how bad is it? Well, let's play it. Let's hear it.
I mean, there's a few videos in there. Some of them are more vulgar than the others. I mean, that one's kind of safe enough.
What's the story?
It's just spring break in Cancun, man. I mean, come on, please, it's Friday, guys. This has to be the first one that we do.
Do you want to be the first one or the last one? You want to end with a happy ending?
I mean, we could.
They're all pretty quiet.
Yeah.
All right, I think they're safe enough.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's start with that one.
Zommers is taking the fall. Pardon me. All right. What is Mike got? The caller?
Oh, he has tips to get rid of hiccups.
I think we've got it pretty full. Just tell them we appreciate it. But tell them we had a scheduled guest, so that's why we're not going to go there, please.
Am I allowed to say the word horny? Is that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Horny's fine. Look at Peter. He has his tea, his natural tea.
Yeah, I think I'm drinking hibiscus today.
I love hibiscus tea.
And these tea things, they have like little inspirational quotes on them. So mine reads, "Your potential self is infinite."
Ooh, I like that. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network, where it's 34 minutes now past the hour of 1 o'clock on TGIF, March 14th, Friday, the 2025. Zomer is already starting the segment off here with the right vibe. Welcome, everybody. Todd Allbaugh with Aaron Zomers. The board is time once again for our bi-weekly look at the week in review, a wacky look at actual things that actual humans have done. And for that, we bring on the managing editor of ebombsworld.com, the one, the only, you know him, you love him, the Bob Ross of entertainment, Peter Rapine.
How you doing, Todd?
I'm fantastic. Every time you come on, I'm fantastic because you have such a chill vibe to you. You're unflappable.
That's just the nice face I wear for you guys. It's not always the case.
Are you just a total bastard when you're not on the air?
No, I think it's the work I'm in. To go through these headlines today, it takes someone with their feet on the ground.
Something like that. You're also drinking hibiscus tea.
I am. Yeah, I'm a tea guy now.
Wow. And you have an inspirational saying on your tea bag?
Yeah, so Yogi Tea, they all give you a little quote, and mine today says, "Your potential self is infinite."
Oh, your potential self is infinite. That's a headline right there.
Not for our website.
No, but just as a headline, nonetheless.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Peter? Is spring sprung up there in Brooklyn, New York?
Fake spring is here. So it was nice for a couple days, and then now it's kind of cold again, and then maybe in a couple weeks the heavy coats will be put away.
Yeah, that's how it goes here too.
It's going to be like 72 here today, and then 30 by Sunday.
Yeah, we're going through the same thing. 54 today, and a little colder this weekend.
It's Mother Nature's menopause. You get hot and then you get cold. That's the way it goes. All right, Peter. Again, remind people, these are not things you make up. These are not fictional things. You and your staff at ebombsworld.com scour the headlines for wacky human behavior. These are real things by real humans.
Yes, I always like to say we're funny, but we're not this funny.
We're funny, but we're not this funny. I love that. All right, Peter Rapine. It's as Zomer has alluded to here, a lot of people, you see this. I mean, our office today is virtually deserted. People are out on spring break. People are they're ready to go for spring break. First headline, Peter.
First headline reads, "Spring break just started and hotel guests are already sick of the sex noises."
Spring break just started and hotel guests are already sick of the sex noises.
So basically, if you don't know spring break, every horny and drunk college kid in America flocks down to Miami or Cancun. And so we have a compilation here of a bunch of videos from hotels where, you guessed it, young college kids are boning away their spring break.
But these are not sex videos. These are just the fact that people are in adjoining rooms and they're just minding their own business. And people are, letting nature take the course in the room next door.
Yeah. These are videos from people who are either angry that they're not having sex or angry that they're having to listen to someone else have sex. Right. And probably a little bit both.
They're laying there. They're just trying to get a good night's sleep. And Chad and Becky down the hall are going at it.
Yeah, they're pretty quiet, which I think authentically conveys the experience of being in the room next door.
Right. So these are not sex videos. This is simply people who are like, I'm recording this because I'm sick of this. So here now, actual recordings of hotel guests tired of their spring break people down the hall or next door.
That one's nice and succinct. That really conveys
That
it. Yeah.
really conveys it. All right, next one.
Just a lot of quiet little screams, and that one was saying, "Oh my god, oh my
Right,
god,
yeah,
ah."
right.
Oh my God.
All right, and finally, yeah.
That one's pretty hard to hear.
That's pretty hard.
That's a lot more like bed noise.
Yeah, bed noises. Bed noises. Have you now, Peter? Have you ever been in a hotel where you've had to witness, not witness, but
Well-
you know, you're just minding your own business and people are boning next door?
Well, it's funny that you say that because just this week, you guys know I moved into a new place recently, and I heard my
Yes.
neighbor for the first time at 1:30 in the morning the other night. Yeah, so
Thin walls of the new place.
thin walls. Yeah, it's New York, man. But I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think the audio from that second video, I think she might be faking it a little bit.
It seems quite exaggerated.
It's a little
She's try-
exaggerated.
She's
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to make the dude she's hooking up with feel good about himself, and she's going over the top.
And he probably feels great. Yeah.
He probably feels very good about himself. Well, yeah, it's I mean, I've witnessed it, or I've been in a hotel situation where that's going on next door. But yes, I've also had apartments where, you know, you hear way too much about the person next to you or whatever.
There's a saying in New York, you either have a naked window neighbor or you are the naked window neighbor.
I have a long story I won't go into, but I had my sister that was staying with me one time in an apartment I was at. She was visiting, and she woke up the next morning, and she said, I couldn't sleep. Did you hear that dog yapping last night? I'm like, it wasn't a dog. All right, Peter Rapine, next headline. Here we go.
Okay, next headline. Weatherman reporting on storm gets hit by flying fish.
Weatherman reporting on a storm gets hit by flying fish. Do explain.
And this video comes to us from Norway, where they had one of their worst storms in the last 30 years. And the weatherman reporting is standing a bit too close to the ocean. And I believe we have some really great audio for this one as well.
Here's actual audio from an actual weatherman out in the elements.
Da står jeg langs norskekysten hvor det uværet som insisterer på å være hovedattraksjonen. Det bare å holde seg fast. Det flyr tak, husvegger, bare...
This poor man. He's just standing there doing this report, and all of a sudden the fish just bonks him.
Yeah. First he gets hit by a fish, kind of throws him off balance, and then he kind of gets taken out by a wave, which is what the scream is.
And then after that, he's laughing.
Right.
Yes, and then he's laughing because hilarious, obviously.
Now, these are the things that they don't teach you in broadcast school or meteorology school. When you're out there in the elements, I mean, you've seen like Anderson Cooper or Jim Cantori, they get hit by a piece of cardboard or wood or something in a tornado. Nobody talks about the poor people getting hit in the head by flying fish.
No, it's not as common. Yeah.
It turns out
Anderson Cooper gets a lot of love for all of his crazy reporting that he does out in the elements, and I hope this guy gets the respect he deserves.
I hope so as well. We're talking to Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, as we do every other week, with wacky headlines of actual, real, wacky human behavior. You can find all of this at epomsworld.com. Peter Rapine, next headline.
So this one is I'm gonna need to give you a little context before. So the term goon or gooning is an internet term where, and I'll try to edit my words.
Yes, be careful.
It's a term where people pleasure themselves for an extended period of time. And the goal is not to finish, but just to get yourself in a euphoric state. And it's called gooning. I just need to get that context out there.
They touched on this on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba and our friend Dr. Lyerly, who is a OBGYN, who touched lightly on this, but now let's continue.
So TCL UK just released an ad encouraging TV owners to goon with grandma.
TCL just released an ad encouraging TV owners to, quote, goon with grandma. Good Lord, what's this about?
And we have the audio.
Here we go.
If you own a TCL, let's go on me and go on you. Let's go with my grandma. We the Alpha, I'm a Sigma, I'm a Skibbity, I'm the king. Big 98 inches, while some BBC. TCL is the Goon King, and you're on my Gooner Empire.
Now you would have to know. It's a good thing you set it up, because if you just hear the song, a lot of people aren't going to catch that.
And clearly TCL is trying to, cram as many like Gen Z buzzwords in here as possible. Right? They said skibbity, they said alpha, I don't know. They said a bunch
What's
of crap.
skibbity? I don't know. I'm not familiar. What's
so
Zombie?
skibbity? It's from a YouTube series called Skibbity Toilet, where like this heroin-looking guy's head pops out of a toilet, and he just yells skibbity, 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 skibbity. And I think there's like
My style is ridiculous. Skibbity bop bop bop, yes yes. Skibbity bop bop skibbity bop bop bop, yes.
I can't believe Zombers had that ready to go.
No, I'll show you the video later, but that's Skibbity.
But Skibbity is like a 70-part YouTube series, and it might be one of the most watched medias ever in the history of the world. Like the videos all have like 50, 60 million views, and collectively, I think it has amassed one of the largest audiences ever. The kids love it. I don't know. I don't really get
and
it.
people wonder why is the world the way it is today? Because people are watching Skibbity videos.
Yes, but back to TCL, they clearly just hammed in as many little buzzwords as they could, and I'm honestly surprised they got this one over the line. And improved, because I mean, gooning with grandma, it's probably not something you want to tell your audience to do.
And it's on Amazon, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And so, but I think the point of it is here, they wanted people like us to talk about it, to give TCL some press, and hey, turns out it was successful. Yeah, they got you. All right, next headline, EPOM's World.
All right, our next one is another weather story. Tornado hits news station as they're reporting on it.
Lots of weather today. So a tornado hits a news station as they're reporting on it. Good Lord.
So this is a Fox 35 station in Florida, and you can hear the anchor, talking about the tornado as it's coming. They like switch out to an audio or a video cam from their headquarters, and in like 10 seconds, it just like comes right to them, and he asks everyone to.
Good gosh. Are we going to listen to this, Zommers? All right, so Zommers has it queued up about where this happened. So this is not so funny, but it is a real story here. So here's a tornado actually hitting a news station during the broadcast.
Okay, bring the camera up, guys, if you can. Zoom out. Can you zoom out? This is a look at the live camera of a tornado, which could be passing by our station right now. Okay, there's debris. We've got debris on. Okay, take shelter. Everybody in the Fox 35 building, get to your safe space under your desk if you're not in a designated area. We're catching debris right now on the roof. Debris is on the roof right now. We're hearing, you can see the debris flying there on the camera. This is a tornado. Seek shelter immediately. Get under your desks, guys. Anchors under the desks. Everybody get on the desks. Okay, that was it.
Wow.
We're still in debris zone.
So now apparently the station must have been fortified, because they didn't go off the air, which is incredible. And for that guy to keep it together while they were literally getting hit by a tornado.
Yeah, no, he sounds really calm.
Yeah.
And I think it also, gives a new meaning to reporting on the scene. The scene came to them. They didn't have to go anywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I do like to imagine that someone was watching that news report at home, and they jumped under their desk just after hearing him say that, and they're like, "Oh crap! Like it's here, it's right here." And then like, "Oh wait, I'm not where they are."
It's I won't go into the details, but early the first year of my broadcasting career, back in 1987, a tornado hit, not quite directly hit on our station, but in our town, and that was not pleasant to be on the air. I actually went underneath the broadcast desk while it went through. Scary stuff.
Very scary.
Not a great moment in Todd's broadcasting career, but anyway, we kept it on the air. All right, we have to take a little, Peter, we have to do a little break here. We have to do a little business, as we say, and then we'll come on back and more wacky headlines from spring break, maybe more from Peter Rapine of E-Bomb's World. It's Zommers, it's Rapine, it's Allbaugh. It's on the Civic Media Radio Network. I just imagine the hotel manager. We had some reports of loud sex here.
With the whole skibbity toilet thing, before that happened, the last thing I expected was for like Source Filmmaker to be a thing again. I imagine you know what that is, Peter.
I have no clue.
Todd, I'm sure, yeah.
What is it?
It's just it was a program that used a game engine that was popular at the time to make videos, and it was really popular years and years ago. I never expected it to make a comeback, but they clearly used it to make Skibbity Toilet because it has a lot of the same models in it.
Oh, really? Skibbity Toilet?
I think that makes that is Russian, and he was just like some random dude who cooked it up one day.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Christmas, that is ridiculous. Skibbity dum dum dum, yes yes. Skibbity dum dum dum, skibbity dum dum dum, yes yes. Skibbity dum dum.
There's so many of them.
It's so obnoxious.
And people watch these things.
Yeah,
a lot.
They love it.
I guess I'm getting old. I'm officially old now.
No, it doesn't make sense to anybody.
No.
Oh,
Streaming
Peter
TV is where
Rapine.
it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between
Peter, what are you doing this weekend? People want to know.
TV, save money and get more internet.
I'm relaxing. I had a friend in Germany, or a friend from Germany in town last week, and I have another friend, someone visiting me next week, so.
10 seconds. Todd did not give you much time
I'm
to
gonna
answer this
chill.
question.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is 9 before the hour of 2 o'clock. At the top of the hour, news from ABC or CBS, depending upon which of our great stations you are listening to. A check of weather. Don't forget, particularly for the kind of, as Zomer said, if you look at your hand, your right hand, and that looks like Wisconsin, the Palm area or the southwest corner of the state, from La Crosse over to the Dells, and then kind of go down towards Waukesha area, that southwest part of the state, under severe thunderstorm and possible tornado, severe weather alerts, basically. These 70-degree temperatures are not normal. The front will move through, and storms after dark, so after 8, 9 o'clock happening in the west, and then moving quickly across the rest of the state. There is a possibility for tornadoes, and for heaven's sake, please do not be burning anything outdoors. It is tinder dry today. Give our first responders and our firefighters a break. No burning today in Wisconsin because of the weather. And then Maggie Dawn is in after that. Maggie Dawn show every afternoon from 2 until 4. The Badgers right now playing on select stations across Wisconsin. They lead right now early in the game, 12-8 over UCLA. The winner takes on Michigan State tomorrow afternoon. Right now we have the managing editor, as we do every other Friday here on the Week in Review, with our old friend, ongoing contributor from E-Bomb's World, Mr. Peter Rapine, international friend and man of mystery. You really what I keep saying this. I'm gonna make it happen before the snow flies again. I'm coming out to Brooklyn and we're doing a whole show together out there. How about that?
I'd love it.
All right, sounds great. All right, Peter. Next headline.
Okay. This Philly man wants you to come kick his ass.
Right. This. Let me find this one here. Where is it again? This. What kind of man? Oh, the Philly. Philly is in Philadelphia. Quote. This is a headline. This Philly man wants you to come kick his ass. All right, here we go. Here we go. What is it?
So someone posted on the R Philadelphia subreddit earlier in the week that tomorrow he's going to be sitting on a bench in the city center and he's inviting anybody to come and fight him. It doesn't matter if you're 6'9" and 270 pounds. But his only caveats are he won't fight anyone over the age of 50, and he won't fight multiple people at the same time, and there are no weapons involved. But if you show up, there will be a man sitting on a park bench in the city center. He's 21 years old. He has boxing gloves, but he prefers a bare knuckle fight, and he will fight you and shake your hand afterwards. So, Philly people, you've heard it here.
And if you've known anybody from Philadelphia, this makes perfect sense.
It does. It does. It's something that belongs in an episode of Always Sunny in Philly. It's something Mac would do.
They're a different breed of cat out there in Philadelphia. Do we know anything about this kid? I mean, is he a fighting weight, or is he just a scrawny guy that wants publicity?
Honestly, I think he's just, some guy who wants to get punched in the face.
I think he's doing it for the publicity, for the likes or whatever, the TikToks.
Well, sure, but there was a guy a couple months ago, 6 or so months ago, who ate an entire rotisserie chicken in Philadelphia, and he ended up getting like a crowd of like 100 people to watch him. But yeah, this is very typical of the internet these days, where someone will host a lookalike contest, a chicken eating contest. This guy's kind of going right to the end of that train of thought with just come and fight me if you want.
So if you find yourself in Philadelphia tomorrow, get on down there and just, kick the crap out of some dude. He's waiting
for you. If you're over
you.
50, stay home.
Right. I'm ineligible now. So
or show up to watch.
I have to be, or show up to watch and cheer him on. All right, Peter Ray Pine, next headline from E-Bomb's World.
All right, next headline. Farting in inflatable costumes is the funniest, meanest thing you can do.
Now, this is timely indeed, because our what's worse today is what's worse, hiccups or gas. And we got a bunch of people. And so here now the headline, farting in inflatable costumes is the funniest, meanest things you could do. Explain.
So we have a compilation video here of, and we say inflatable costumes. It's one of those plastic SpongeBob costumes that has a little fan in it that kind of blows you up. And it's a compilation video of people either farting or spraying fart spray into like the little fan that controls the air for the costume. And then the aftermath is basically someone kind of convulsing and shaking as fast as they can, trying to get out of the costume.
Okay, here's how people farting in inflatable costumes.
Hey, why are you laughing?
That's what you get for eating my snacks.
It's just people freaking out trying to get
It's
out.
people freaking out. It's a little hard when you can't see it, but yeah. But yeah, it's a cruel thing to do, but yet if you just watching it's juvenile funny.
Yeah, you can, in that audio, you can kind of discern the gagging sound, and then the plastic ruffling is just them convulsing, being stuck inside of an inflatable fart prison.
And as we said earlier in What's Worse, hiccups or gas, a lot of people said it depended whether you were on the receiving end or the giving end.
It also
Gary watching on Facebook says a new high for the Todd Allbaugh show. Thank you, Gary. We, as we say, we're serious. You got to have a little fun doing it. You got to have a little fun on these Fridays. I'm sorry, Peter, we have run out of time for this week. There were so many headlines. I appreciate you, my friend. You're fantastic. You always make us end of Friday on a laugh and the lighter side of life, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Todd.
Our pleasure. Have a great weekend, Peter. Peter Ray Pine, managing editor of E-Palm's World. Many thanks to Aaron Zommers. All of you for listening. Have a safe and healthy weekend. Go Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament and Selection Sunday on Sunday. We'll be back on Monday with you. Whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you Monday. All right, everybody, that was fun. Good way to end the week. Got a few laughs. Thank you, Gary. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Adios.